So this is a message to my boss as well.
And this is also a message to our immediate boss, right?
Yeah, of course.
What I've been asking for. Today just might be the best day.
Yeah, of course. So maybe you just push it out again today.
So you make a wish, I'll make my own wish.
But it depends. If your, if your boss supports Liverpool, maybe today is not the best time to do that. If your boss supports
nothing was
Borussia,
decided yesterday.
if your boss supports Borussia Dortmund as well, it might not be the best time as well. So it's another wonderful time to be on Sports Bank. The morning after the night before, after a Champions League night, well, we are all buzzing. We are all super excited to be on Sports Bank this morning.
Except for those who are not in the Champions League.
Wow.
The Champions League is not for everybody.
Yeah, obviously. You need to be doing well to be in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this morning we have, a whole lot lined up for your listening pleasure. Remember, the National Sports Festival, how many times was it postponed? Maybe 4 to 5 times. But finally, we have the pleasure to let you know that it has actually started, and we're going to be keeping up to speed with Edo 2020. Even though it's happening 2021, it's just going to be like the Olympics. That is Tokyo 2020, even though it's 2021. Oyo State athletes have pleaded with the state government for better remuneration on the ongoing National Sports Festival tagged Edo 2020. This was put forward to the Sports Commissioner, Oluwaseun Fakorede, while answering questions from the athletes in his visit to the state's contingent at the Games. Cyclist Joke Drogbade pleaded on behalf of the athletes for better motivation and bigger reward for every medalist. In awards, they want a reward bigger than what they received at the 2012 National Sports Festival in Lagos. Remember, with the Sports Festival, state somehow poach. They'll tell you, Oyo State, okay, let me not use Oyo so that it doesn't look like I'm shading somebody. Kwara State gives you 500,000 for good. Rivers will give you 1 million. So perhaps that's what she was talking about here. Let us quickly listen to this cyclist from Oyo State by the name Joke Drogbade.
Like Delta now is going to award their art. Their art is 1.5 million naira. Edo 1 million naira, and some other states, even including Kano. Kano that will be maybe third to the last. They gave their athletes a good amount of money. Please, God will help you, sir. Concerning the reward, if it cannot exceed 2012, at least 2012 reward, please, we are expecting it. 12. We collected 750,000 naira for gold, and they promised us that the next festival they are going to give us 1 million naira, and we performed outstandingly well. But at the end of the day, you were not there, sir. But this time around, sir, we need your help, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so my relation.
Okay, that's very passionate, as real as it could get. Faith, what do you think about this?
Yeah, she's saying the right thing. If you want them to do better than what they did the other time, then the incentive should be way better. Oyo State finished 9th at the 2018 National Sports Festival. We had 16 gold medals. So if you want to have more than that, then there should be a better motivation. Of course, what they had last time was not under this dispensation. It was under a different government. But then this government, I expect them to take it a notch higher. And I like, the courage with which she was telling the commissioner there to, push the I would say what the athletes are yearning for across to the commission. I hope they do justice to that. And once there's incentive, there's a way it pushes you. There's that extra drive. Imagine someone promising me maybe something for me to take it a notch higher. I will always put in that extra bit of of my best there. And so I hope Oyo State definitely will do so well and do better than the 9th position we placed last time out. Maybe 7th, 6th. Of course, the big boys, talking about the big states, obviously will still come up tops.
Lagos,
you expect Delta, Rivers, Lagos, Edo. They were 4th or 3rd last time out. Now they're hosting, so you expect them to do a little bit so well. But anything around 6th, 7th will be a very good outing for Team Oyo for me, and I expect that the athletes will get the necessary reward for their efforts.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have it on good.
But some will tell you that money shouldn't be the motivation.
I think it is in this part of the world. That's not. That's
everywhere.
Maybe it shouldn't be the motivation.
We are in Nigeria now. so I have to actually stick with that. It has to be at this point in time.
The most important motivation.
It has to be at this point in time. Why? Because at this point in time, remember these ladies, these athletes have actually gone through a lot as regards coronavirus issues, financial distortion and all that. And they are looking for every means to make sure that their financial books are balanced. So this is an opportunity for them to actually ask for whatever they can get at this point in time. Well, I have it on good authority that, there will be instant rewards. Like for gold medals, we'll be getting 20. That's not the final. Maybe that's not the final reward at the end of the day. But, when you win a gold medal, immediately you get 20,000 naira from the government. Silver, I think 10. And of course, bronze 5,000. And it's been a bronze festival, for your state so far. It's also on report that, they've won about 6 bronze at this point in time. So I think, these ladies these athletes are just asking for what they actually believe they deserve at this point in time. They've put in a lot in terms of preparation. And I think, it's just a better time for them to get rewarded if they so do well. So I think, it's not too much for them to ask. It might be another, 2 or 3 years before they will actually get this kind of opportunity. And mind you, some of them might not even get this kind of opportunity again. This might just be the final time. So I think, whatever they are asking for at this point in time, it's actually not too much for them to ask for.
Well, a quick addendum. Passion does not feed anyone's family. As much as we understand that these athletes have a huge passion for this, they need to feed their families. They have loved ones who are, waiting on them to bring something home. So you cannot just say, you love boxing.
So what then happens when, a lot of motivational speakers will tell you that, do what you're passionate about and you're never going to feel like you're working.
No, there's no problem with doing what you're passionate about. But while doing that, you also have to make money.
So money will be secondary, right? Passion will come first.
Yeah, but money should also come. Money is very important.
The way Pharaoh passion, you would think money comes first.
Passion and money goes together.
Okay, we're going to put that aside. A quick one from the world of basketball this morning. Kyrie Irving scored 40 points, including a final minute 3-pointer to help the Brooklyn Nets fight back to beat the New York Knicks 114-112. That's an hour victory if you look at it. Brooklyn lost key player James Harden after only 4 minutes with an hamstring problem and trailed by 10 points at halftime. However, Irving's late 3-pointer secured a victory for the Nets. Harden was making his return on Monday after missing 2 games with tightness in his right hamstring and appeared to suffer the same problem against the Knicks. The Nets are top of the Eastern Conference with 35 points and 16 defeats. Elsewhere, the Dallas Mavericks extended their winning streak to 5 matches with a 111-103 victory over the Utah Jazz. Devin Booker scored a high game 36 points to help the Phoenix Suns beat the Austin Rockets 133-130, while the Toronto Raptors claimed a 103-101 victory over the Washington Wizards. And now we'll shift our attention to the Olympics, mixed with a little bit of politics here. North Korea has announced that it will not take part in the Tokyo Olympics this year, saying the decision is to protect its athletes from COVID-19. The decision puts an end to South Korea's hopes of using the games to engage with the North amid stalled cross-border talks. In 2018, both sides entered a joint team at the Winter Olympics, which led to a series of historic summits. Pyongyang says it has no cases of the virus, but experts say this is unlikely. Remember, North Korea runs what some would call somewhat a closed system. Maybe that explains why this is happening. Well, let us move to football, and it has to be the Champions League, the mother of all club competition, the one that everybody gets to look forward to. And for us right here, that we prepare, every year for, that is the Champions League Magic Night. What will happen on the 29th of May? Well, the journey is on right now. A sleek-looking Real Madrid overpowered Liverpool 3-1 in the first leg of their Champions League quarterfinal on Tuesday night. Despite missing their starting centre-back pairing of captain Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane, Madrid looked a class above the reigning Premier League winners. First half goals from Vinicius Jr. and Marco Asensio shot the hosts into the lead before Mohamed Salah got one back for Liverpool. However, with 25 minutes remaining, Real deservedly extended its lead with Vinicius grabbing his second of the night. With the second leg at Anfield on April 14, Liverpool must overcome the 2-goal deficit if it wants to reach the final 4 of the Champions League. Meanwhile, in the other game of the night, it was Manchester City versus Dortmund. Well, I'm not saying, I think earlier I said something about one game
should have ended in a draw. Yeah, definitely. You said that.
let us take the BBC Premier League updates. When we return, I get your take on the two games. Sports Bang on Splash 105.5 FM.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Adi Adedoyin at the BBC Sports Centre. It was a mixed night for the two English Premier League teams in the European Champions League. There was late drama at the Etihad Stadium where Manchester City scored a last-minute winner against Borussia Dortmund to win by 2-1. The details from the BBC's football correspondent, John Murray.
After this, the focus was on Manchester City's 20-year-old rising star rather than Dortmund's after all the pre-match attention surrounded Erling Haaland. Instead, it was Phil Foden who caught the eye. He was involved as De Bruyne shot City in front. But stubborn Dortmund equalised in the last 10 minutes. Captain Royce set up by Haaland. It seemed then it might go to the second leg all square until De Bruyne and Gundogan combined brilliantly for Foden to score the winner. Before a strange incident in the tunnel post-match when it seemed one of the referee's assistants asked Haaland to sign their red and yellow cards.
Contrasting fortunes for the six-time winners Liverpool, who have it all to do next week after they were beaten 3-1 in the first leg of their quarter-final at Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior scored 2 for Real. Mo Salah got Liverpool's goal. As the BBC's Alistair Bruce Ball explains, Liverpool have it all to do in the second leg.
The away goal, obviously, early in the second half is a little bit of solace for them. First 15 minutes of the second half, Liverpool looked a bit more like Liverpool. It got very end-to-end. They got a goal back. They made it 2-1. Salah rifling one home off the goalkeeper's hand and off the crossbar. But even at that point, you still felt Real Madrid were going to cause Liverpool problems and score more. They did. In the end, it could have been a lot worse for Liverpool. I think they've got a real job on to try and turn this around next week.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, there you listen to the BBC Premier League update. You're welcome back. Faith, let us start with the first leg between Real Madrid at home and Liverpool. The second leg is going to be in 7 days' time, next Wednesday. Well, with Liverpool, we know their record when it comes to, fight backs, especially at Anfield. But this time around, maybe it's going to be a little bit different. You don't have the loud Anfield fans, that will be cheering you. But do you still see a possibility of a turnaround in this one?
Yeah, anything is possible in football. We've seen it time and time again in the world of sports generally, where we see unbelievable comebacks, something that you probably would have said they are unprecedented. But then, with the kind of Liverpool I saw last night, they were completely outclassed by Real Madrid. It was a domineering performance. Aside the maybe first 15 minutes of the second half, where Liverpool had a little bit of a stint of pressure, you say that was the only moment that Liverpool did a little well, and that was when they got that goal, and that was the only shot on target they had in that particular match. So you look at that, Real Madrid completely outclassed them in the middle of the park, took complete control of the game, and once you do that, I still saw the quality from Modric, Toni Kroos. You still see that these guys are still so good. And then Vinicius Junior, any moment, that pass from Toni Kroos for the first goal was a very, very outstanding pass. But then that is something we've become so used to with players of that caliber. Once you want to play at that level, then you need to deliver consistent performances like that, and that is what players like Kroos. You also look at Vinicius Junior. It was fantastic yesterday. Every moment he had the ball, it was more like a huge headache for the entire Liverpool backline. And then they got the all-important 3-1 But, just like you said, Liverpool still have the chance in that game. They have the all-important away goal. So they know that going into the second leg,
2-0 would just be enough.
2-0 could be enough. Any form of result that makes them get an advantage due to the goal, the away goal they scored yesterday. So anything is possible, but I don't exactly see it happening.
You don't see it happening.
it's a very slim chance of them qualifying at this point in time, because if you look at their back line, is it possible for them to be able to hold the attack of Real Madrid in the second leg? I think those are the questions that will be bothering them at this point in time, because look at Vinicius Junior. He was playing like prime Ronaldo yesterday. Like, hey, I mean, it was really tormenting them at the back, and they couldn't really have answers to what he was actually bringing to the table. So for me, I think, like rightly said, anything. I don't want to say it's over, because anything is actually possible in the world of football. But hey, it's going to be a very, very slim chance for them to actually qualify, to the next round.
So let us talk about the second game. Manchester City, it took Phil Foden's last-minute strike to give Manchester City a crucial, slender advantage in their Champions League quarter-final first leg against Borussia Dortmund at the Etihad Stadium. This time, next Tuesday, they will also next Wednesday. They will be going away from home. This tie looks a bit more open than the Liverpool versus
Real Madrid's own. Yeah, definitely. You can actually say that again, especially the way Borussia Dortmund tends to be stubborn when it comes to the Champions League. I mean, you wouldn't say this is the same Borussia Dortmund that played just last weekend in the Bundesliga that lost to Frankfurt 2-1, and see the way they actually came. Though they didn't really have answers to the questions that City were actually pounding at them, talking about the ability to actually stop that attacking football, that pressing ability.
People say where there is Haaland, there is hope.
Yeah, there is, but then it looks like there was not much hope for them yesterday. But then it's not over, like you rightly said. It's still very much open. But I feel the quality of Manchester City is way too much for Borussia Dortmund to actually stop, even when the second leg actually approaches. Because I think I said yesterday that Pep is even more hungry at winning this Champions League than any other competition, and he wants to do everything possible to make sure he actually does that. If he does bottles this, I think this might just be the last time for him. Because come on, I mean, you've had series of chances, and this is another one, staring at you. If you do lose this one again, I don't know.
But Manchester City were not exactly great yesterday, I must say that. Dortmund were not, that kind of team. They dominated the middle of the park, the quality, the pressing. But then, Manchester City were not at their usual best. Dortmund should have gotten a draw in that game. Had it been they kept it tight, or had it been they got some results their way. Yesterday I saw a player got yellow carded for scoring a goal, and that was what Jude Bellingham did yesterday. He scored a goal, he took the ball off Ederson, but then the referee disallowed it and gave him a card. You look at that and say, maybe had it been
that was a bit harsh.
Yeah, it was harsh. A little bit of correct refereeing decision here and there. Maybe
considering that he's a very young player.
Yeah, he was so good yesterday, I must say. The fantastic. I would say there's a telepathic relationship between himself and Erling Haaland, coupled with Marco Reus on the other. They had good combination play. We've always seen that with Borussia Dortmund, but they didn't offer so much going forward. But then they will look at the away goal and say that there's something to point at going home. At the second leg, we can also stage a comeback. Moreover, Lyon knocked them out last time out. Monaco knocked them out some seasons ago. So who says Borussia Dortmund cannot also do it?
Okay, and in that particular game, Marco Reus became the outright top scorer in the Champions League for Borussia Dortmund, surpassing Lewandowski. Who is actually doing the Lord's work in Bayern. Unfortunately, is out
of this game,
which is going to be very tough. Others, Bayern Munich could also be without winger Gnabry for tonight's Champions League quarterfinal first leg against Paris Saint-Germain. Bayern, who are 7 points clear in the Bundesliga, already have star striker Robert Lewandowski and midfielder Marc Roca sidelined. If Gnabry with sore throat misses the tie, Leroy Sané is likely to replace him. Last weekend in the French League One, we also saw Neymar getting sent off.
Yeah, meaning that I think they lost that game as well.
And they lost their standing on the table as well. But I mean, this by all standard is going to be a star-studded.
Definitely.
It's like it's a repeat
of the
Champions
finals.
League final last season. Yeah. People say there's room for revenge in football. Do you see that happening?
For me, I don't like a team that was beaten by the same team previously to go into a game with a mindset of revenge. It's as a way of actually affecting their game if they are not actually careful. I just want you to go into that game and actually do what you're supposed to do the needful, and try as much as possible to actually get the needed results. For me, I think this is going to be a much more difficult game for Bayern this time around, because I believe PSG wouldn't want what happened to them last time not to actually happen again this time around. And they want to actually prove that, hey, getting to the final last time out wasn't a fluke. We actually did the needful by actually getting there. And this time around, we can actually do it again. With injuries that has actually hit Bayern Munich, I think, whether we like it or not, they will feel the impact of, Robert Lewandowski. I mean, they struggled to get a 1-0 victory, in the Bundesliga just last time out. And it's looking like the goals, it's going to be difficult to actually get someone that would actually be that poacher for them at this time around. But hey, it always promises to be a very, very exciting game. We just have to wait and see what happens later tonight.
The first leg is Bayern at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think this is some kind of advantage for PSG?
Maybe yes. If they can actually try as much as possible to,
see they don't concede like 5-0. Bayern can do that too.
I don't think they can. I don't think they will concede 5-0.
Barcelona didn't think they could.
No, that Barcelona is a different team to PSG.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think
to be stronger.
I don't think PSG is as worse as that Barcelona that time that considered 6. I mean 8. So I think,
surprisingly for me, if I were a coach in the Champions League, I always want my team to play our home game first in the first leg, then go away in the second leg. Yes, there's this added pressure for the home team in the second leg. That is the way I see it. All you need is probably you've gotten the result from the first leg. You know the number of away goals you need in the second leg. The home team also will be very cautious of conceding away goals in the second leg. So if I were a coach in the Champions League, I take it as an advantage to play at home first.
Okay, for PSG, they also have their own problems. Alessandro Florenzi and Marco Verratti out of this one game because they tested positive to COVID-19, which is quite unfortunate. Now, for the second quarterfinal game that we expect tonight, FC Porto versus Chelsea. On paper, maybe some weeks back, you would say it should be straightforward Chelsea because under Thomas Tuchel, they looked so unbeatable. But then again, West Brom happened to them over the weekend. And suddenly we are looking at it from a different perspective. Faith, let me get your take. What do you think could happen? It is Porto playing at home for the first leg. You said as a manager you prefer to play at home first in the Champions League at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for Chelsea, they need to know that if they don't get to qualify, they will have themselves to blame because they got the easiest draw they would have gotten. Because they wouldn't have preferred facing Bayern Munich, obviously. They wouldn't have preferred facing PSG. Porto was almost like the pick of the bunch for everyone, and they got the easiest draw, so they should do that. But then, based on their form, losing 5-2 to Sam Allardyce's West Bromwich Albion, you look at that and say that is not the best form of confidence you need to take into this game. But Chelsea will still look at it and will say they have the kind of advantage. But the problem they would have is maybe a team that wants to play expansive football. Chelsea will be able to hold it down against them because they know how to recycle possession, hold on to the ball. But a team like Porto will most likely give you the ball and they will be defensive. And the problem with Tuchel's Chelsea has been in the final third, getting that incisive pass in the final third or that cutting edge in the final third. That is what has been missing for them. So that might be a problem for them. If they get it right, then they should qualify do justice to FC Porto and then begin to look at maybe Real Madrid in the next round.
Okay, Christian Pulisic will be part of the Chelsea squad that will be playing. Well, the manager decides if he gets to start, but he's part of the squad. Midfielder N'Golo Kante is fit after a hamstring problem, though he may only make the bench. Strikers Tammy Abraham and Oliver Giroud will travel. They already traveled with the team. For FC Porto, Fermi, do you see any ray of hope?
Yeah, definitely.
In this game,
definitely I do, because this is a team that actually demolished and defeated Juventus before getting to this particular round, and nobody actually gave them a chance in that particular fixture. Everybody were thinking exactly. No. Forget Pirlo's Juventus. They of course it is, but
they struggled everywhere.
But then look at that team compared to what Porto has. You would say that they have better players, world-class players, best of the best in that particular Juventus team compared to Porto. Who do they really have that is really that standout player compared to what Juventus has? But against all odds, they did the needful and they got the win. So I think this time around they shouldn't go into that game underestimating Porto, because if they do, they're doing that at their own peril. So I think they also have a huge chance of doing something later tonight.
Okay, we'll wait to see what happens about this Champions League matches. Remember, we're counting down towards May 20. 29, where in Istanbul, you're going to have the final two. I have my final two in mind, but let me not say, okay? Interestingly, before we leave this morning, we have this one that Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero wants to move up the Premier League's all-time goal-scoring charts, which could help Chelsea in their bid to sign the Argentine when his contract ends in the summer. Remember, it's up for grabs. They've announced that he's leaving. We'll leave on that note. Thank you so much, Fermi.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure to be here.
And to Faith Adedeji.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as well.
4 o'clock later today, we'll be discussing the round letter game of soccer on the program Just Football. I'm sure you don't want to miss that. My name is Tunde Olawuwo. This morning we worked alongside Bosun Alayode. Have a great Wednesday and bye-bye.